Only fools rush in today on Fortitude Through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. Today is an interesting perspective on what we mean by reason choice. We say that all the time, and even me, 9 months into this now, I'm like, what the hell is reason choice? Today's a good example. But there's also some correlations here that go to another one of my mentors, Sun Tzu. So let's do a deep dive. The quote today by Epictetus: "A good person is invincible, for they don't rush into contests in which they aren't the strongest. If you want their property, take it. Take also their staff, possession, and body. But you will never compel what they set out for, nor trap them in what they would avoid. For only contest the good person enters into is their own reasoned choice. How can such a person not be invincible?" So, before we go into a little bit deeper here, I'm going to say one thing. You'll hear me say this all the time. If I know that I'm not going to win, I'm not going to play the game. I only go to war if I know that I can win, or if it's part of a bigger strategy. I will only go into a contest when I think that I can win. Some people see that as cowardice. Some people, and again, there have been millions upon millions of men slaughtered in the history of mankind because fucking guys have egos, right? Grr, let my strength go up against theirs and see who's the toughest. Well, that's fucking retarded, right? We look back and you look at the way they used to wage war. They'd put all these dudes on one side, all these dudes on another side, and see who had more dudes and march at each other shooting. That is fucking retarded, right? Logically, why would you do that? So again, that's how my mindset has always worked. But also, I'm a student of the art of war. Sun Tzu says, "Only take the field of battle when you are strong and your opponent is weak." Why would you want to go up against a superior force? Because even with victory, you're going to have tremendous losses. It is asinine. I don't understand it. A little bit of a rant there, but again, it ties into Stoicism and some of my study of military strategy. One of the most fundamental principles of martial arts is that strength should not go against strength. That is, don't try and beat your opponent where they are the strongest. But that's exactly what we do when we try and undertake some impossible task that we haven't even bothered to think about, plan strategically. Remember, you hear this all the time. If you give me 7 days to chop down the tree, I'm going to spend the first 6 sharpening the axe. Stephen Covey, in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about sharpening the saw. He talks about planning and preparation being the most vital thing to success. Some people think that choosing your battles is weak or calculating. How could reducing the amount of risk you have or the potential to fail be considered weak? I don't understand that. It's intelligent to me, right? Because no matter what, if we're leaders in a company or military commanders or even in our own life, energy, time, money, people, it's all resources. Why would you waste resources over ego? So as the saying goes, discretion is a better part of valor. And this is what the Stoics call reason choice. It means be reasonable. Think hard before choosing. Now listen, oftentimes we can pick and choose when we fight our battles, right? Why heedlessly rush into battle without reasoned choice, without considering the advantages? In business, we call it a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I talk about this all the time. Why make this move? Overwhelming number of strengths, very few threats, ton of opportunity, right? Very few weaknesses. Great. We have an overwhelming advantage in this marketplace for doing this thing. That is when we execute. Same thing in life. Same thing in life, right? We don't We don't buy that house unless we have the money in the bank and the income to support it, right? It just doesn't make sense, but this is where people put themselves into a state of chaos. They don't think, they don't use their reasoned choice. They just rush in. Now, alternatively, people like my ex-wife used to say that I'm impulsive and that I make decisions quickly. Yes, because I'm decisive and I have strong cognitive. So whilst it takes other people a long time to get to a decision, because of the way my brain is wired, because of my personality type, because of the ongoing cognitive training that I'm doing, before someone actually gets out the sentence, I already have it. So for me, my greatest challenge is being patient and letting the other person be heard, but I already know the answer. It's my superpower. It's annoying as fuck. People hate it, but it's one thing that makes me very unique. I can see the solutions before you can even utter the problem, truthfully. The biggest part of what I have to do is my patience, because while I can see the solution, I can see the path to success, oftentimes it takes me a while to get my team or my client or my person there. Herein lies patience, and that is the weakness of me, right? And I talk about this all the time. I have different clients, and now I'm really being very selective of who I work with, especially on a one-on-one basis. And I talk about this rock star, Brianna, that I've been working with a long time. So she's been working with me a long time. So the level's a little higher, right? And the other day, she's got a big event planned because we're hitting towards the end of the month. So I keep looking at those, checking that gross sales mark. Where are we at to goal? Well, she crushed her goal. So she she made an additional commitment, right? And she's got a big event this weekend that'll get her there potentially. And so I was punching holes in her. Okay, what's going to happen if this? What happens with the weather? What happens if you get a call out? What happens inventory? I was hitting her with every possible potential scenario. What's your backup? Why'd you do staffing this way? What happens if this? I got to tell you, I could not punch a hole in anything that she had planned. Do you think she rushed into that? No. That was well planned, well prepared, well executed. So for me, I can have a conversation with her and hit her, boom, 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 because she can make decisions and she knows, right? That is the consistency of always being challenged in your planning, right? She's not going to have chaos now. She's not going to have fires because she has plans for things that go sideways and curveballs. And with all the shit that if I went through, that'd pretty much be the worst thing that ever happened. And she still had a plan for everything. That's different. That's why I'm being very selective of who I work with now. Different level, different mindset. Someone like Brianna who's using reasoned choice, right? It's a beautiful thing when you get to this level. It's a whole different conversation versus someone who's not. Herein lies my challenge. The more work that I do, the more emotional intelligence that I experience, I also have to balance the fact that I understand that other people don't make progress in their life. Most of them actually regress. Patience, tolerance, understanding. Herein lies the work that I'm doing within Stoicism. So, on that, it's the weekend. I'm gonna go enjoy the day.